Today I'm going to show you how to make a needle minder. This is the needle minder. This is the needle. Watch this. It's magnetic, so it's magic. It will hold your needle while you're doing handwork on a little maybe cross stitch or needlepoint project. If you're doing some hand sewing, mending clothes or sewing buttons on, and you don't have a pin cushion handy, you can use your needle minder and set it on your fabric and then put your needle on it. It works great. So, and it's great to not have to set your needle down, like stick it in the chair or the couch and forget about it and then poke yourself later, or someone else. I've set it on my table next to my chair before, and that's not good either because it rarely stays there for very long. It'll fall on the floor or just get lost, and then either the vacuum sucks it up or whatever. So needle minders are great to have around to use in your hand sewing projects. And I'm Peggy, by the way, and I'll show you the supplies needed. They're very minimal to make your own needle minder.
Okay, so for the supplies you'd need to make needle minders, you're going to need some charms or some kind of relatively flat items. Here are some examples I got ready to just show you. Charms, this has a jump ring on it. This goes with it, so it probably at one time had a jump ring as well. A little earring here with the post flattened down, that would work well. Some feathers and keys, and there's a flattened penny. Over here there are an assortment of items. These are button covers. Those would work well. Some thimbles, a snowman pin, a cowboy boot, and you're going to need some of those strong magnets. I don't know how you say the name, neodymium, or I don't know. I'm going to put the link to them on Amazon in the description. There's some flat game pieces. The coins are plastic and the others are wooden, and those are vintage, so they're pretty cool, I think. Little fun game pieces for maybe like Parcheesi. A Scrabble piece. These are some buttons that we'll use for the back of the needle minder. And these are some more beads. There's a cat, some leaves and flowers. So those are just some of the options you could use. You can do some trial and error and see what works. You're going to need some glue. And I put some scissors here. I'm not sure. I don't think I need them to make the needle minder, but they're cute. Okay, let's get started and let's make some needle minders. Okay, something I forgot to mention earlier. I like to use something to put down on my work surface to protect it that isn't paper or cloth, because the glue, if you're working with glue and it sticks to that, sometimes you just ruin either the fabric that you've put down, or if you use paper, if your thing you're gluing sticks to the paper, then the object that you're actually making can be ruined by the paper sticking to it. So this is kind of a shelf liner and it's slick. I think it'll work great. So that's what we're going to use today. And I have my two little magnets. They're tiny, right there. They're stuck together because that's what magnets do. And then I chose this kind of big pepper shape piece of metal charm and a red button to kind of match. I'm not a matchy person, but I thought, whatever, I can do that. So basically that's what you need, is a charm, something that's somewhat flat, a button, and two magnets. and some glue. And I'm using this B7000 instead of E6000. It's great too, but this is what I happen to have. And I'll just tell you about the glue real quick. The surface drying, like whenever you're gluing something with it, it takes 3 to 6 minutes. You know, don't touch the glue for 3 to 6 minutes. Then the primary fixing time, so that it's going to really adhere, is about 2 hours. And the complete drying time is between 24 and 48 hours. So if you need a needle minder quickly, think about it 2 days before you need it. And just let it dry completely, because that way you're not going to ruin your fabric, the piece of needlework that you're working on, by getting glue that might still be tacky. So let's get started. The B7000 stinks. It's a little smelly. So I have some paper towels here to wipe my hands real quick if I need it. And I'm going to separate the magnets. I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one back in the dish. And I'm going to get my charm and my button ready, and just lay them down. The charm is the same basically, front and back. It doesn't really look much different to me, so I'm just going to set it down. The button, this is the front of the button. It's got a little ridge around the edge, and the back is flat. I don't think that matters either, because this is going to go on the magnet that goes at the back of your needle minder. So this isn't going to show. It's just kind of like a handle, so you don't have to pick up that tiny little magnet by itself. So we're going to glue a magnet to this button, and I'm going to let the decorative front of it show, and we're going to glue the magnet to the back flat part. So what I'm going to do, uncork the B7000 and just put a tiny bit of glue, a little bit more than that, right there, because the magnets are tiny. And I want this glue to not go in the button holes so much, so I'm going to just dab it around on the surface as best I can. I'm going to quickly close that back up because it is rather strong. It kind of reminds me of that old airplane glue stuff when you made model airplanes, which I didn't do. And now to get the magnet on there without getting glue all over me, I'm just going to slide it onto the glue there. And same thing here. I'm going to put the magnet right there on the button, and they are done. Did you see how quick that was? If I hadn't been yammering away, it would have been even quicker. So those pieces are done. Why don't we do it again? I've got some more picked out right here. Here is a button that we're going to use for the front, because it's relatively flat. There is an indentation in it, but that's okay. So I'm going to put it upside down because the glue goes on the back, and I'm going to use this kind of blue button. And now I have to find 2 more magnets. Where did I put them? Woohoo! Hello, magnets, where are you? Here they are. So I've got them all stacked up here, and I'll go ahead and use some bigger ones. These are bigger than those little tiny ones, but they're going to fit right there on each of these. They're not too big. So I'll put 1 magnet in each bowl to keep them from, magnetizing. And again, we're just going to get the glue ready, set the little cap down, put some B7000 on here. I'll put a little bit more since the magnets are bigger, but not much. You don't need much. Yeah, this button wants to move. Stand still, magnet or button, whatever you are. Okay, so there, we've got some glue on each piece, and I'm going to wipe off this cap. I don't want it to glue it to the pin and never get to use it again. So I'm going to set one of the magnets right there. There it is. And now the one is going on the back. Whoop, did you see that? That's what happens. And it's pulling it off. Get back down there. There we go. So we have both of these glued, and they're wanting to attract. So I put it on the back, and the fronts are going to be beautiful. So I'm just going to let those dry. So we have 2 needle minders made, and in less than 7 minutes, since I've been talking and showing you this stuff, you could probably do it a lot quicker if you aren't, trying to show somebody. So I'll be back. Okay, so that's how you make a needle minder. And I know it was very simple, not a lot of skill required, but it's good to know the steps to use. So I hope you will make your own little needle minder if you feel so inspired. And I appreciate you watching, and I hope you'll give me a like and a subscribe. That would be cool. So I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.